Today we're going to connect both together. Yes, so we have two different objects. And first thing we're going to do is we're going to combine them. Okay, excluding the eye, because the eye needs to be able to rotate on its own. So I'm just going to go to Mesh and Combine. Okay, so now it's one object. So how are we going to start combining them? One thing we can do is we can start extruding outwards from the eye. dal-keyboard kull darba ġifieri. All right, so I'm going to extrude the eye outwards. Okay, something like this. I'm going to check it from the front. And I'm going to turn on the grid. Whoop, not perspective, front. And what I want is I want these verts not to exceed the center point. So I'm just going to get the vertices and start snapping them to the center. Okay, something like... Yes, I'm pressing X to snap to the grid. Okay, if I wanted to snap them to other verts, I would press V. Okay, and then they start snapping to the other verts. X snaps to the grid. And C snaps to curves, if you have curves. Okay, so what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to give it some space for the nose. So I'm going to pull these guys inwards. Grab this edge. And extrude it. And snap it to the center. Okay, so we've got kind of a center line for the nose now as well. Okay, so if I smoothen her now, this is kind of what we're getting. So the next thing is I want to see how I'm going to attach these to the bottom. So I know this vert I want down here. This maybe can snap to this one. Here I'm going to insert another edge loop. And I'm going to snap this to it and this down to the center one. Here I'm using the, what was I pressing? V. Okay, so something like that. Actually, I'm going to extrude it downwards again, so I don't stretch this too much. Okay, because if I stretch this vert over here, I'm losing kind of the poly shape, the squarish shape that I have, which is something I don't want to do. Oop. So here I split it. And we've got something like that. Yes? Now I need to weld the verts together. So when I smoothen, I don't get these weird edges. Yes, and to merge those, I'm just going to grab both vertices. And I'm going to click on Merge Selected, which is go on Edit Mesh and Merge to Center. And then I'm going to press G to repeat the last command. So you see here what happened? I welded the verts on the background. That is because when I selected this, I selected faces which are behind. Okay, so if I merge them, it's going to move the vert for me. So you need to be careful for that. Okay, what I do to kind of find out if there's anything selected is when I move it. You see how the tumble tool kind of moves in a weird way? Okay, that means there's something selected behind. Okay? So now I've got something like this. Now I'm going to grab these edges and extrude these guys out. Okay, we're getting some weirdness over here. That's going to be fine because I can move it. And this I'm going to attach to this one. Okay, now I need to go in and make sure that they're following the reference image that we have. I said the nose, we're going to leave it out. Okay, because the nose, what we'll do is we'll extrude it outwards then. And what I'm going to do over here is I'm going to start preparing for the nose, which should be somewhere there. Okay, I've got a vert over here that needs welding. And I'm going to try and keep everything, all the lines, kind of running smoothly. Okay, so I want a curve that's going to go around and not have any weird bumps in it. You guys can still see with the light? And the light killed my mouse. Oh, my keyboard. So this one I want to try and keep it straight. And now at this point, guys, it's just a matter of going in and trying to get the shapes of the face and curves moving properly. All right. I'm going to delete half of them out. I'm going to mirror it back in. we have a mirror, we're going to get that problem where it's going to weld the center verts together. And I'm going to go to polymer, 0.001, and that solves that problem. So over here on the lip, usually there's a bit of, let's see, even the move tool's not working. There's a bit of dent downwards, okay? So when I okay. All right. And I broke something. All right, for some reason, it flipped the normals for me. Okay, that's why I'm getting black over here. So, no, that was something else then. Okay, so now the lips, we've got that little piece of skin kind of pulling it downwards. And then we need to go in and kind of look at it and find where the kinks are. Okay, kinks are the kind of dents inside the model. So over here I've got 2 dents. And I know that over here on the lip, we're going to have that kind of shape going in. Yeah? Over here on the mouth, we've got these kind of things pulling. So I want to try and fix that by grabbing these edges and pulling them out. That's better. Over here we could split it as well. Grab this and pull it inwards. Because over here you've got another muscle that pulls the mouth open from the side. Okay, on each side you've got a muscle over here. So these then I can pull them downwards slightly. Yeah, but I don't want to move this one. Okay, I'm going to split it up again and remirror. Yes, we're good, makes sense? And then once we have this, we're going to start extruding out the edges and getting the shapes of the chin. And then eventually we'll do the back of the head. Okay, the back of the head is the easy part. So, let's extrude outwards. Oop. Could make a flower face as well. So we're going to go back in and start moving verts. If you think about it, it's not that complicated. It's just moving vertices in the right place until you get the shape that you like. Okay, this is obviously not good. And what I'm doing is the other side, I'm ignoring it. Exactly, because then I'll just mirror it. Otherwise, it won't come exactly the same as the other side. So, useless working on it. The nose, I'm going to shrink these in a bit. To get a better transition eventually. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the last extrude around the face. Okay? And I'm going to try and get the jawline with this one. Okay? Because here the face is going outwards, and this is where it starts going back in. Because the jaw is the outer part of the face. So I'll grab the edges, extrude, move this backwards. You're late. Okay, so yeah, something like this. So this woman, her jaw is pretty big. Okay, so I'll delete the other half of her face after I fix this. And here I'm going to start averaging out the verts. Okay, so mirror geometry. And this is what we have till now. Okay, so let's do the back of the head. For the back of the head, what I'm going to do is, over here you see these statistics. Okay, so I have verts, edges, faces, triangles, and UVs. Basically over here what's going on is it's telling me how many vertices there are in the scene, how many edges, how many faces, how many triangles, and how many UVs. Okay, these for game development, you'll be using these a lot. Okay, because you'll be giving a kind of a kind of cache, kind of. You've got kind of 2,000 vertices, and you have to create a model with 2,000 actually triangles, not vertices.
Heads up display,
Exactly. So you get that from display, heads up display, and you have poly count. Okay, so in this case I'm going to turn it on, and I'm going to grab the edges, and I have 24 edges selected. Okay, so if I create a sphere, actually a cube, we'll scale that up. I'll go to mesh, smooth. And I'll smooth it again. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete these faces. And from the side view, I'm going to try and match it up with her head. Yes. Mala, why did I not use a sphere? A sphere has triangles. Okay, with the square, I don't get any triangles. So like this, it's a cleaner mesh. Now what I want to do is I want to modify the shape. Okay, but I don't stay moving each vertex by itself. So if I press B and go into the move tool, I have the soft selection. Okay, you can either go to the move tool and turn it on from here, or you can just press B. All right, and if I press B, keep it pressed, middle mouse click and drag, I can select more verts, but with a fall off. Okay, so when I move it, it's kind of a stretchy, plasticky. So I'm just going to start moving verts around until I get the shape looking better. So something like that. Now, next thing I'll do is I'll start moving things around and deleting things. So I'm going to delete this edge, so I have more room to mess around with. Okay, now this area over here, we're not going to worry about it too much because that's where the neck is going to come out of. So I'll just grab those and delete them. And I know that this is going to snap. It's this vert over here. Whoa, that's a mess. So I'm going to turn on the wireframe unshaded, okay, so I can see my topology. And I'm just going to start moving them in place in the perspective view. Okay, I'm using V to snap. This is the center, so I know it has to go to the center. And I'm off by 1. Okay, so now this I need to, eventually I'm going to have to find a way to connect it to the back. I'm going to turn what? I may insert an edge loop. I could also merge these vertices together, get 2 triangles, then delete the middle. Yes? Because then in the head, there's nothing that's going to be animated. So I can mess around a bit over there because there's going to be hair over it and all that other stuff. But ideally, I would do it somewhere here, the back of the head. So what I can do is I can cut these faces, join them up. Okay, so I got this. These triangles, if I grab this edge and delete it, it's now a quad. Okay, so I'll grab that and move it there. And this can snap to the other vert. Now I'm just going to go in and kind of tidy things up. That looks okay. So don't forget, when you have photos like these, the skull is not actually over here, where the hair is, because there's the thickness of the hair. So I need to calculate kind of for that as well. All right, so I'll grab those two, I'll combine them. So mesh combine, and I'm going to weld the verts again. So I'll grab that, merge to center. So if I smoothen this now, it kind of connects, and he looks like one of those guys from Star Wars with the tall hats. Okay, I'm going to delete the half of the face. And so when I deleted that, over here we deleted this face as well, which is not a problem, we'll just edit in later. Okay, so object mode, mirror, apply, close, polymer. And to fill this in, we'll just go to edit mesh, append polygon tool, and fill that in. Okay, he still looks a bit squarish at the moment, but what we'll do is we'll kind of smoothen things out by using the sculpt geometry tool. Okay, if I click on the box next to it, it's going to get me the options, and over here I've got slide. Okay, what slide is going to do is it's going to allow me to move verts around but still maintain the shape. Okay, I've got pinch, which is going to bring verts together. Yes. I've got, what's this called? Relax, which is going to relax things around. And this is going to even out the geometry for me. And then we've got smooth, which smoothens out the geometry. But by using smooth, I'm going to lose volume. Okay, it's going to kind of shrink in on itself eventually. Make sense? So if I have the mouth and I smoothen it, yes? So you need to be quite careful on how you use this. This little bone thing I put over there is looking a bit creepy, so I'm going to smoothen that out a bit for her. This I can change the brush by pressing B, same as the soft select. Okay, B, middle mouse click. That's okay. We'll cover her nose. She kind of looks human. So, I'll go to the side view and make sure that we're getting the right shape. I'll use the soft select to move things around. That's fine. We have the chin over here. That's okay. Mana, you see what happened to us over here? The middle line is now skewed to one side because we were using the relax and the smooth tool. So that we obviously need to fix. Okay, so to fix that, I'm gonna grab the verts, scale them inwards, and then snap them to the grid. I'm going to delete half the face again, and I'm going to select all the center verts. And inside the move tool settings over here, we have retain component spacing. Okay, what that does is when I snap things, it's going to keep the distance between verts. Okay, so if I take it off and I snap, everything goes to a straight line now. Okay, so I'll mirror for the last time. And I'll append the hole in her head. So over here, it's going to need some work. I'm going to have to pull some verts out. So if I go into the top view, and do that, it should be okay. And maybe I can get even these side ones. Yep. Yeah, that's better. So, you want to work on this now? Yes?